Aloha, I'm Reverend Cindy Paulos, and I wanted to talk about the value of journaling, especially for empaths. Now, there's many terms and different ways people use journaling. I have used writing down what I've gotten from meditation every day of my life since I've been 13. And it really, for me, goes beyond just journaling. For me, it's a way to connect what I receive from meditation, and sometimes I feel like it's messages. I actually like to call it messages more than anything else, because when I meditate, I connect with my higher self, and then I always seem to get impressions. And as I've developed it by doing it for such a long, long time, that I really have come to understand more clearly what I'm getting when I write it down or type it into now my phone in my notes. And then I can look at it and relate back to what's coming to me and through me as well. Now, for empaths, this is a very valuable tool. For empaths who feel a lot, sometimes there's a lot of overwhelm that can happen, or some clarifying that needs to happen to focus on what's going on coming from your higher self to you. Because if you're an empath, most likely you're very sensitive, and you can also take in quite a bit of energy from many sources. So I feel it's really important to tune in and focus on your own highest self, to get clear and make that connection very strong and open. And journaling can really help this process. Journaling can really help change the way that you are able to hone your own intuition and your ability to connect with your highest self. Now, when I started a long time ago, when I was 13 doing this, and I've done it every day since, that time, long, long time ago, there were no computers, so I kept notes in a journal. And I have to say, it was nice writing down what I got. However, if you do this every day, as I have, then you collect quite a few journals. And what happens is, over time, if you move, you may lose some, or things might happen, or pages might even get worn out. And I found out for me that it's best to try to keep a record of everything in a computer and then back that up. So I do that in a couple of ways. One is I write down in a thing I use called Rhymer's Block, RHYMERS, separate word, block, BLOCK. It's an app I use because I have all of my things I write there first. It also, for me, as I'm writing poems and things I use for spoken word, it gives hints and clues, and it also can connect you to a whole community of people who write. There's a lot of rappers on there, so I don't go down that road, but there are also interesting people who do write every day. But so I write it there, and then from there I like it because I can take it from there and share it from there into my notes or to LinkedIn and to also my WordPress connection. So it's kind of nice to have that. You can also share it to any social media site if you care to do that. Now, if you just want to have it connected to your notes or something, then it's there as well. And what happens is you write these things down. You write it, for me, I write it without too much thinking. I go back and make edits after I write it down. Now, what happens is you're fine-tuning your own messages at that point. And then I share it on social media every day, usually through Facebook, and I will also shorten just a phrase I get down, and sometimes I make that into a little art picture or thing through text and art and put that up. So you can help build what you're doing up through that as well. Everyone has different messages they get. I have found they're very, very amazing for me because I now have 8 books and 13 CDs that have come to me through, and I'm working on my 14th CD right now, that have come through me through these messages. And so that's an extra benefit that you can have from writing and journaling and putting things down. That may not be for you. That's fine. But I find it to be very interesting and a way to share what I get. And as you do this through time, you'll find that if you share what you get, you're going to attract other people who resonate to what you're sharing as well. And I have found through time that if I share what I get, it kind of amplifies what I get. Because then there's not only that channel that comes into me, but it amplifies what comes through me to other people as well. And here's another benefit that comes from journaling in this way. I find out what resonates with other people because now people know I write every day. And it's interesting, I have some people who will make a comment or hit a like or a heart. But then I have other people who never make a comment or never do a like, but then I may bump into some of them I know and they go, I read what you write every day. It's like, no, I didn't know that. How could I know that? But you will find what people like, and it may not always be what you think. To me, it's amazing how sometimes people will just resonate with some message. So that's feedback you can use if you are going to do either a podcast or a blog or teaching or a book or anything you can use with these messages that come to you. Now, as an empath, how is this important? Let's stop and think for a moment. Just take a moment and pause. What you're doing is you're strengthening your inner connection. You're building confidence, which is important for empaths. You're finding ways to resonate with others who resonate with you, which is also very important for an empath because that builds your channel of energy and frequencies that you're sharing within yourself with others. And it also clarifies what's you coming from inside. And for me, I think possibly the most important part is it gives me that connection to my highest self and my soul. And when I'm there, it also, and this is a subtle thing, it also opens a doorway for my guardian angel, my muse, my inner voice, or sometimes it's spirit that wants to speak through me. Because if I was only going to just go to my soul, that would be a wonderful way to share and communicate, and often that's where my messages come. But I find because I'm doing yearly books and CDs every year, that this attracts certain higher energies and frequencies that wish to share their message. And in this way, then I know that I am able to be a channel. I don't think of channeling in the same way as some people do. But if you're an empath, you have a very high intuition and frequency, and you probably are very open to reaching a higher level of consciousness through your intuition. And as you're doing this work and daily doing writing, channeling, journaling, whatever you want to call it, you will find that this is an interesting way to allow the highest and other beings to be attracted to what you're doing and then to speak through you. Now, over the years, I've had different energies. Mother Mary was a very, very, very important and big one I did after I had a visitation from her. And she let me know that there were messages that wanted to come through, and I did that. Over time, because I'm very much an empath and sensitive, I've had many beings who have passed on share their messages with me, which I could then share with their loved ones. I wrote a whole book on this called Angel Blessings, Messages from Heaven. And it's over 300 pages, so there were quite a few messages that came through. So you can see how this can help you in many different ways. Everyone has different guardian angels and things they attune to, and higher beings that are watching out for them and connected with them karmically as well. So this is all an interesting way for empaths to develop their creativity as well. Now, if you're an empath, you can easily get all these energies and frequencies and things coming in, and you don't want to be overwhelmed. So if you strengthen your channel, your frequency that you're tuning into and what you're sharing, you also gain that, again, as I mentioned, that confidence, but also creativity. And creativity is one of the most powerful gifts that an empath can use to keep you in a positive light of energy. And so that's ways that you can share your writing. It is a simple, very easy thing to do, but it takes a certain commitment. A wonderful book was written called Writing Down the Bones. You've probably heard about this, and she talks about how important it is to write every day. I did an interview with her once. I've got to try to find that interview. It was fascinating. Natalie. And anyway, just Google Writing Down the Bones and you'll find what she's done. I find it very, very fascinating that she says that as you write every day, it's a path that then also, in many ways that I just explained, helps you to follow that wonderful gift of creativity through writing. So I really encourage you to try this, but make that dedication. There are going to be times when you write where you sit down, even after doing this every day of my life for over 55 years. There's times after meditation. I look at that little thing I jot my notes down on and I have no idea. There's going to be times you think, well, there's just nothing there. But let me tell you something. Once you start, once you begin, maybe a word or maybe two, then all of a sudden other words come and other words come. And without fail, I always find, even if my mind thinks there's nothing there, that something will come through. So don't doubt yourself. Just start writing. And if you do it every day, you will find how it can change your life. So I encourage you to do this. And I hope you do. And I think it will be a fascinating journey for you. And I bless you and thank you so much for being open to being able to tune in and hone your energy frequencies through the gift of journaling.